folks, and welcome to this episode of Run Through. Today I'm taking a look at inertial drift. I apologize in advance, it is about 5 in the morning where I'm at, so I'm a little tired, but this just came out and I wanted to get a review up because I really like the prologue version of this game, and now that the full version is out, they've added a ton of stuff, and I think it's a really, really nice package, and I sort of wanted to, just display that for everybody so you can kind of see what's going on here. I want to jump into the arcade mode real quick, I think it is, and just sort of give you a run of sort of how the cars work, because it's a lot different than most other racing games. It's kind of similar to, if you remember, like Need for Speed Carbon back on like the PlayStation 2, and how you could kind of go forward, or you could have gas and brakes sort of with the right stick. This one is going to be left and right with the stick, and it'll drift the car, but I'll show you what I mean here. Let's see, we'll go ahead and start with this guy here. There's quite a few color options. I don't think there's really any way to customize the car further. Maybe down the line though, that would be really cool to see, but as it sits, they're kind of just as they are. So I'm not going to do this race necessarily for performance. I'll just kind of show you how it works. But so effectively with the stick, the left stick, you're going to kind of have a slight adjustment on your direction. And then on the stick, that's me pulling all the way to the right. And I believe you can invert it too if you want it to be like left is left, right is right. But I think it works. It makes more sense in this end because you're sort of similar to how like Skater XL is like very similar to actual skateboarding. I think this is more similar to like the wheels of the car. Like your back tires are sort of, you kind of want to pull them in the opposite direction, I suppose. So yeah, it's going to be exactly that, I guess. And as you can see at the bottom, you have an indicator. I'm not quite sure what the very bottom red line means. I think that might be like speed lost as you're drifting, or grip perhaps. This, I know, like the yellow bar is going to indicate like the amount of like turn that you're doing, or amount of drift that you're doing rather. So it's going to sort of guide you around each corner like that. You can get really tight on the walls, and if you guys saw my review earlier of Hot Shots Racing, I would say basically everything negative I said about that game would be the opposite in this game. Like it's extremely polished. Every car feels like it's very much on the road. All the controls are super tight. The AI is like, when you're racing against them, they're all going to be mostly ghost cars. Like you're not going to have any collision or anything like that. Which could bother a few. I could understand why, but I think this game is primarily set up as a time trial setup. There is a mode for more arcadey or point racing as well, and there's also duels and other stuff like that. There's also online multiplayer. There's leaderboards for practically everything, and I believe you can also race ghosts of the leaders, I think as well. I'll have to double check on that, but I'm fairly certain that's it, because it's basically what this game is set up to do. As you can see there, once you've finished a lap, your ghost will pop up, and generally speaking, they're like 3-lap races. So the first one is sort of like your practice run. The second one is going to be like you challenging your ghost and going for a better run, especially because you're already in motion. You're not starting from a dead stop. In some races, you don't start that way either. You start, in motion, but yeah, generally speaking, it feels really good. I'll say too, a lot of the cars are gonna vary in the way that they do this. So for example, like this one is, I'd say this one and the other one that's in the other one that's in the prologue are gonna control almost exactly the same. Where it's like you steer with this, you can kind of let off on the gas to get a little bit of a tighter curve, and then when you hit the brake, you're gonna do like a real jut. So like coming up here, you get a sort of a tighter curve with that. There's another one, the second car, which I'll show off here. Actually, I'll just go ahead and finish that, because I think you'll get a better idea. I'm not as good with this car, but I'll show it to you anyway. So this one's going to be a bit different the way that it controls. It's sort of set up to where you only drift slightly with that stick, but when you let off the gas, you really start to pull in one direction, and then when you hit the brake, you straighten up completely, basically, if you're not holding on the stick. So I'll show that here probably. So as you can see there's like there's where you're getting your full drift, and then when you get there, you're back straight. So it's different. The cars all control a little different. There's another one that I really can't quite get the handle on, and I'm not sure. It almost feels like it might be bugged, but I may just be missing the way that it controls, and I'll show you that one here in a second. But yeah, this one I like too. I like both of these. These are the two that were in the prologue, which you can still play, I believe. So if you want to test this game out before making the commitment, it's $17.99 at the moment. There's a sale for it for its launch, and then I believe it'll be $20 after that. Which again, I don't mean to compare it to Hot Shots so much, but it is fresh in my mind because I just played through that earlier today. But at this same price point, this is just a much better package, and it just feels like there was a lot of care put into this. Not to say that they didn't there, but just the overall tightness and everything of this game is just something really special. Like it feels so good. And when you're really nailing it, it's a little difficult because I'm talking, but when you're nailing it, it really feels fantastic as far as like a racing game goes. Like even there, that was a real satisfying turn. And I think by virtue of like you kind of gearing up for your turn, it helps quite a bit. I'm gonna show you this this last car real quick because, like I said, I think there's definitely more cars than this. I believe there's 20 tracks in total, and it seems like there's a car for each one. I think, as far as I can tell, don't quote me on that, but it seems like every section I've done so far, there's been like a rival that you face, and then you seem to get their car at the end. But yeah, I'll jump into this one. I don't quite understand how this car works because it's sort of like the adverse. It's like you'll start to turn, but you won't necessarily, like this is me all the way on the left hand stick. So it's like but that's me letting go of the gas. So like when I let go of the gas and turn, then you're like fully in there. It's almost like you're anticipating the turn ahead of time and then sort of going into it, like letting off the gas whenever you're ready to take the turn. It's like you're predetermining. See, then you get, it's really hard. Like I'm not quite sure how to do this car. It's totally different. But yeah, it's sort of like you're maybe preloading the turn almost, and then based on your level of gas given, it'll kind of, or see, that was like me letting fully off the gas. Yeah, it's really strange. It's almost like you let off the gas and then sort of try and slowly pull back on it to give it the turn, and then it sort of self-adjusts, whereas the other ones are a little more in your control. I don't know, it's really interesting. It makes me interested to see the other cars too, because maybe I mean, I feel like there's only so many ways you can make this kind of stuff happen, but I mean, already that's 3 very distinct kind of driving patterns, so I'm kind of getting the hang of it now. It just takes a little bit to get the feel for it. Yeah, this one is definitely more like, I don't know, I'm definitely playing this one more. Oof, yeah, that was a tight one too. Like playing this more by feel than the other ones. Like it's, I mean, I guess that's not the right way to say it either, because the other ones do have a really good feeling to them, but I don't know, this one is more like, there's more of a flow maybe to this one. Like I don't know, I call it maybe like the water car. Like it's really different. I wish there was, because I've seen it in a few places, but I really wish there was like, let me double check, because I wish there was like a way that you could see the controls without me having to explain them to you so much. Like I wish it would just show it on screen maybe. Yeah, no, I guess not. Well, I guess I hadn't tried the other D-pad stuff. Maybe, I don't think it'd be under visual either. Pretty good options though for stuff. It runs super well. I have it locked at 60, and it's been great. A lot of audio options too, actually, surprisingly, like for kind of everything, like tire squeal, ambience, wind. The wind is super neat in this game. I don't know if it's going to come through great on the recording just because I usually have the volume set a little low, but you'll hear the wind more based on, like, especially if you're wearing headphones right and left, will, depending upon what wall you're closer to, you'll hear like the wind against it more so. It has really nice sound design. Like it's I didn't notice it when I was playing the prologue, but in the full release here, I've definitely noticed a difference there. But yeah, let me back out of this and I'll kind of show you some other stuff. Yeah, there's, I believe, 20 tracks in total, which doesn't seem like a ton. But they're all pretty distinctive, and they get pretty tricky. Like that Seaside one, which is also in the prologue. There's 2 tracks in there, but yeah, like this guy here, the Snow Mountain one, seems buck wild. Yeah, and it looks like there's maybe these are just the ones I've unlocked, and then there's reverse versions of all those too. So there might be even more than this overall. So maybe if every one of them has a reverse track, I say it'd be closer to like 40. There's a Grand Prix mode as well, so you can sort of pick a car type, and then it'll give you tracks based on each car specifically. So you're sort of doing a time trial or an overall Grand Prix based on that class and then that car specifically, which I think is neat. There's a story mode as well. I've actually completed 40% of it already, huh? Go ahead and jump in there. There's a bit of a story. To be completely honest, I have not been paying a ton of attention to that. Yeah, so I do like this car quite a bit, so we'll see how this goes. This is a track I haven't done yet, though. But I'm at least familiar with this car, so that's helpful. I actually tend to like this one the best. I think that's sort of why it was in the prologue, because it just sort of, but yeah, like right there, like just that tight wall hug, man, that feels satisfying. Here's where it's gonna get pretty wild, huh? But as you can see, every time you hit on the brake, you sort of jostle, and you know, idea is just to make tighter, quick decisions, a little snap decision kind of stuff with these. And then sometimes you want to sort of, you know, let go of the gas into a turn and brake a little bit before you get there too, so you can sort of tighten it up before it happens, like right there. Feels real good though. It's hard to explain. It's sort of the same, like I was saying with like Skater XL. It's like that's a game you really need to play to kind of understand what's happening. Like just me explaining it's really not going to give you, I don't think, the full breadth of how this feels to play. But damn, it feels good. Probably loosen up the turn there a little bit. I could have done that. And I think true, the track design, it's like some of them feel really frustrating at first, but I think once you like start to understand how it plays, like they all start to feel really good. I think that's damn. I think that's where the kind of the beauty of this game comes in, because it is a lot of, you're gonna probably be playing a lot of the tracks a lot of times, you know, but I think based on the variation of the cars and then sort of like the leaderboard time trial nature of the game, I think there's a good bit of replay here. And I don't know if they have plans to like continually update it for the future, but I imagine if it does well, they probably will, just because it seems like this could be a really good jumping off point for sort of drifting games in the future. Just because the mechanic just feels great. I don't know if I mentioned it either, but there is also a points-based one. Maybe I'll jump into that after this, kind of show you what that looks like. Oof. Not great. Not great. Still passing, I guess, but not ideal. Let's skip through that. Oh, style. Actually, okay, here we go. So yeah, it'll kind of give you points based on like how close to a wall you are, how close, I think in the wrong lane probably as well, and then for your actual drifting itself. Oh, oof, didn't hit it, but it felt like I was going to. But yeah, as you can see there, like all sort of ghosts. Oh, damn. I wonder if that's gonna bone me there or not. It is, in a way, it's almost like... Oh, no, I did very good. Never mind. I didn't actually know there was a Platinum 4 stuff either, so that's cool. So that's even a higher difficulty on other stuff. I'll show you this last duel, and then I'll probably dip out of here. I think that's enough for you guys to kind of know if you want to play this or not. But like I said, if nothing else, at least try the prologue to get an idea. Because I think... Yeah, I think it's worth it to just see. Because even if this isn't like the, you know, final version of this concept, I think it's a really, really good basis for, you know, even a sequel or hopefully really just a continuation of this. Like if they could add DLC packs and other stuff, I'd be totally fine with that. It's one of the few games where I'll say give me DLC, but also I'd love the option to customize stuff, but you know, it's just a personal thing. It sort of kind of makes me think of like Automodelista. Like it's sort of in the aesthetic, like obviously like maybe how you thought that game looked when you were a kid. Wouldn't hurt to have some like action lines on the car, but I think you sort of don't want any distraction based on where the turns are coming and everything like that. This guy's gonna beat me, I think, though. Like how I Platinum one and then just get whooped on the next. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, I think this dude's gonna crush me. This is basically the way it works: is you gotta get out in front, and then whoever's in front the longest, you get points based on how long in front you are of the other person. And then I think whoever scores 1,000 first wins. So if I pass him, I might be all right. If I pass him at all, I guess rather. Here we go. Damn it! Yeah, I hung too hard onto the right there. Yeah, I didn't brake before that turn like I should have. Damn, man. That's... I'm really not... I'm focusing too much on him. I'm not focusing on the road the way I need to be. Because I'll say too, like the signage, I think the coloration of the game really helps with that, because it's like fairly obvious all the time where your turns are for the most part. Like just the orange coloration. Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, that was really bad. I'll have to do that again. Oh, it did seem like I still passed, I guess, though. Yeah, this is a pretty difficult one, especially that right part of the course there. You see that like squiggly line, man. That gets rough. Let me see if there's anything else quickly that I want to show you. I guess there's online too, and it's kind of, you can do each class of difficulty, and then you can sort of select your region automatically, and then I'm not gonna go through that because I don't think there's gonna be anything on at the moment. So there is a pretty good tutorial if I remember right, or at least it gives you a pretty decent idea of how this works. See if I can show that off. Maybe this is how I should have started the video. Yeah. I'm not sure what endurance is. I'm gonna actually look at this real quick just so I can give you guys the full package, because I don't know what that is. Oh, okay, it's the like time trial thing, I think. Man, if these keep up, I don't think I'll lose this, to be honest. I think I'll just keep going forever. This is kind of crazy. I have raced this course quite a bit, though, just by virtue of it being in the prologue. I say that as I smack into a wall, but... Focusing too much on everything else. I get a little distracted with this game. It's kind of therapeutic in a way too, I think, once you kind of get going. I guess I already did the gold. I wonder what the platinum distance is, if there is one. Maybe 10,000, I would guess. Probably the 10 or 12, maybe. I didn't actually see what the difference was between the medals. Okay. Well, guys, I think that's it. I mean, there's a lot to really like about this game. I think my only caveat now is seeing that the story is already halfway done, and that was not very long at all. But I don't think that's really the point of this game either. I think the leaderboard stuff and everything else that's going on is really the key element to this game, and then the challenges and stuff after the fact. So yeah, that's Inertial Drift. I think it's whereas Hotshot said that it was the ultimate arcade experience. This being the ultimate experience in drift machine racing, I think is actually accurate here. It is really super neat. Yeah, I think the mechanic alone is what's pulling the game through. And it's kind of rare that you get a game that has like a very singular mechanic, but it really drives the entire experience. And yeah, it's sort of, in a way, the Skater XL of drifting, with the exception of having, actual more challenges and other stuff to be doing. Yeah, it's great. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any games you'd like to watch me cover, please leave it in the comments below. As always, yeah, I just appreciate you guys for keeping up with everything. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Again, sorry for maybe being a little off. It is 5:43 in the morning, so there is that. But thank you guys.